What's up, everybody? This is your boy Chris Reed Beast. Listen, we are doing piano for music producers. I'm gonna go ahead and switch this. Let's see what would look cool and not be too distracting. I feel like this is doing a lot for my. I might have to just turn this off completely. Okay, the red seems to be pretty chill. Piano is, of course, the first thing that really got me into music production in general. It was the thing that really sparked everything for me in terms of why I got into making music in general. So, really was just excited about that. Um, what I initially started, saying to myself when I first started my journey was, how do I play certain kinds of chords? That was the first thing that I had asked myself, or I was trying to search and find how to do certain things. So some of those things I did was I tried to learn how to play certain songs because I wanted to play a lot of gospel. But then, even as learning how to play certain gospel songs, I was more interested in how to play those songs. Like, why do those songs sound the way they sound? Why does it sound the way that it sounds? So I got more involved in terms of those things, like not just learning the song, but learning why they sound how they sound. So, for example, so like be learning why songs sound how they sound, that became the next thing. Say I got to do something about this cord because I want to be able to stretch out over there, but I got this microphone here. Nonetheless, um, so for example, with this song, Never Would Have Made It, the thing that matters about the music producer side of it is the kind of chords that are being used, because the notes, like, we could just play this kind of a C. See how different it sounds? Same chords, but, well, same but not same, right? The first chords were sus chords. They were sus chords. So, in other words, this C major chord, but instead we're playing it with this D on top, right? So we would play C major with that D on top. And instead of putting that D on top, we're putting that D down here. And we're playing it like this. And so that has a different sound than this. Now, so something like that, for example, the only thing that we're doing with those chords is we're, instead of playing the major chord, we're playing that sus chord. We're playing that second finger note. We're playing that second finger note, and we're switching between the two. We just switched it there again. We just switched again. So now stuff like that made me say, why does it sound that way? What's happening in that situation? And that's called a passing chord. And the reason why that passing chord really sounds so good is because everything up to that point was in the key of C. Everything up to that point was in the same key. All white keys playing major chord. Now, when you play this, and you got that note right there that doesn't fit, and then it leads you. It just leads you to the next place, right? Now, as we kind of go through this piano and chill night, I'm going to be switching back and forth to different pianos, okay? And I want you guys to tell me when you hear one that's like, oh, wow, that one sounds really good, you know? Yeah, right there. That's that hallmark sound right there. Very nice, bright, and beautiful kind of sound that we have there. And, there's definitely going to be reasons and times in your music production where you're going to use a sound like that, where that kind of sound is going to be called for. That kind of sound is going to be called for. I'm going to switch piano sounds again and see how this one sounds. So, we talked about some different kinds of chords. There's major chords. There's different chords that we can play. Triads. We haven't even gotten into seventh chords or ninth chords. But even with that sus chord, it's basically just moving around that middle note. You want to keep that root and fifth. Here's our root. Root just means that first note that we're starting with. So if we're on C, that's our root. So we're saying C, and then we're saying our fifth. 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the fifth of that note, right? So when we say the fifth of that note, this one sounds like a very clean piano, as opposed to the other ones where the other pianos had a lot of stuff going on with them. This one's just very clean. Root and fifth, and then if we move around those other two notes, we move those other notes. These three notes in between, depending on how we move those notes, we get a sus2, a sus4, or the major, right? sus2, sus4, major. It really just depends on how we're playing. So, and that can happen with all of the chords, right? And then as you play solid chords, like if you just play whole notes, as you play just solid notes, instead of playing just a solid chord, you can do what I'm doing, which is arpeggiation. So we're arpeggiating. We're arpeggiating between those sus2s and sus4s. Okay, so that is also another thing that we can do. So we can arpeggiate between those notes and get those different kinds of sounds. Now, depending on the style of music that you're going to make, you're going to get into different kinds of chords, and you're going to get into different kinds of piano. You're going to get into it. Really, there's there's two different ways that you might play piano, or you might use a MIDI keyboard, in terms of playing chords and things like that. You might play bass left hand, or you might play chord left hand. So chord left hand would be I'm playing chords in my left hand, right? And then I'm playing melody right hand, right? Or you could just do bass left hand. Which is what I do sometimes. So sometimes I just do just the bass notes. Sometimes you do like that, you know what I'm saying? How you make music, it just really depends on your comfortability. So you might play chords in your left hand and melody in your right hand. So you might do that. You might play chords in your left hand. You might do a mixture of the two, where you just play bass sometimes, you play chords sometimes, you mix and match your melody. It's different things. And then the other thing is you practice. You practice and practice and practice, man. You just got to practice, because as you practice and warm up, you get to play different things, As you have different kinds of beats, you're going to play different kinds of piano. You're going to have different kinds of moods that will be introduced because of the type of beats that you're creating, right? So it really just depends on your mood that you're creating in the beat and in the music, right? Okay, I want to take a second real quick to just say hello to everybody. So, hello, everybody. Wait, hold on. Hello. Okay. All right, y'all. Hello, everybody. As soon as I switched over to this camera, stuff started acting up. My name is Chris Reed Beast. Listen, we have been doing March Madness all month long. And we are still going with March Madness. We are live streaming all month long, just creating some different live streams, putting some videos out there and being active. So, and what I'm noticing as I'm doing these live streams is I keep coming with like different ideas, because I don't just want the live stream to be the same thing every time. So if you guys have ideas, feel free to let me know those ideas. Also, like, subscribe if you aren't subscribed already. And if you are interested in one-on-one tutorials, please be sure to visit my website, chrisreedbeats.com. And with that being said, let's get back to the video. All right. I think it's time to switch our piano again. So far, just so we can talk about that as well, I've been using a couple of different pianos. This piano here, let's see. This piano is Alicia Keys from Native Instruments. Okay, Alicia Keys from Native Instruments. This one is The Gentleman by Native Instruments. Pardon me. This is a piano by Sample Tank from IK Multimedia. Think that this one made me play a little bit more because of the richness of the sound. It came in a little louder. So because of the richness of the sound, I need to make sure that I take a picture of DL's chat so I can actually come back and respond to it later before he gets to deleting stuff. This one is Piano Verse from IK Multimedia. And that one is the ID8 from Reason Studios. So like I said before, as I was going through it, a very clean sounding sound there with the ID8 from Reason Studios. Very clean sounding. Now they do have other pianos, other sampled pianos. Here is processed pianos from Reason, and I'm going to go to the clean pianos and find a nice clean processed piano that we can take a look at here. So let me see if they have a more. So I think that's like their strongest one, the grand piano, Big Apple Jazz. This one is a little softer, and we can also turn down our high cut. Let me see. All right, well, I tried. But nonetheless, that one's not soft enough, you know? I feel like to soften that one up, we would have to add like another filter on top of it. Yeah, like that, and then you can really hear that sound. Now you can really hear that sound. We could even go even softer, just turn down that filter even more. But that's too soft now. Still too soft. Too muffled. So that's as far as I got with that song. Very, very soft if you just add that filter on there. So now, just to get back into some more different skills and different things that you could do with piano. So a lot of times you can really make a piano sound, or you can really make chords sound really great simply by changing the root note in the chord. So for example, still working with those sus2s. If we just slide that down to a D, now we're in like jazzy soulful land. See what I'm saying? So here we're in like major land, classical. I feel like the only other thing we need is to like add a whole bunch of reverb. But if we just simply change that root note, this is our root note of F, change it to a D. Like I said, now we're just getting it super soulful. So you can even just play around with different ones to see, you know, okay, what works well with that F. So F works well and that D works well. Now, one reason why is because it creates or it makes up a whole nother chord. So F major is F, A, and C, and you can even add that E to make it the 7th chord. And if you were to play that with a D, okay, then that would become a D9. 7th, 9th. So now when we play that D with that F chord, it's the same chord. See what I mean? So that's why we can mix up that D in the bass and the F. And you'll find that there are other combinations that's just like that because of the way that chords are made. You know, because of the way that they're made, you will be able to mix different chords just like that. So another example would be if I was to play this chord, I could also play this with a C. And that would kind of sound like, hold on, I want to change my, reverb. Now, can you guess why that C also goes with this chord really well? We're playing this chord here, and we can push that bass note to a C, and it sounds pretty good there as well. A or C. We can push it to either one of those. And the reason why is because of what the actual chord is. So we're playing an inversion of this chord here. And actually, I think I want to switch my piano now. Let's go to this one. Cool. Let's go to this one real quick. And I'm also going to set up my chord sequencer in Reason, so that way you guys can see the chords and things that I'm playing here. So I'm gonna just set this up real quick. Just give me 1 second. Here we go. Here's our Reason. And I'm just gonna go ahead and just make a nice little something right here for you guys, so you guys can see right here. So that way you guys can see what we're playing, names of chords and things of that nature. We'll call that the middle there. See what I was saying? sus2, sus4. See? So I was saying we're playing this inverted chord here, C major 7. If we change the inversion and we start to play how it should be played, it would be this, right? So the inversion has the notes more clustered together. This is a more open voicing, okay? So of course, if I play C in the bass, wow, that works because it's C major 7. Now, if I play an A in the bass, that changes this to now a A, what is this, a A11 or A9, A minor 9. I put too many notes on. There's our A minor 11. So A minor 9. So when we play A like this, we're playing an A minor 9. C major 7, A minor 9. Right? So there's different things that you can play just like that. Right? So just by changing our bass note, hopefully I didn't lose you guys. My YouTube seems to be tripping. Let me see something. Did I change that? Oh, I did change it. Okay, wonderful. So everything is good to go. Okay, great. So looking at, some different things that we have here. We were talking about changing the bass note, right? And we've also talked about arpeggio, or arpeggiating the chords, playing different kinds of chords, playing triads. We've talked about a couple of different seventh chords as well. So, of course, in our music, if we're thinking about music that's happening in hip hop, for example, it's a lot of melody and it's a lot of rhythm. Think Tupac. Dun 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 dun. And I'm singing it rather than playing it because I haven't quite learned that one yet either. But it's a lot of rhythm in there, right? So there's like this establishing rhythm that happens. So it's good to have like some rhythm, some rhythmic, some establishing some kind of a riff in your music, that kind of creates this movement. It's always great to have chords, but it's, just as great to have melody, just as great to have different rhythms that you can play in your piano as well. So not just playing melodies, but also playing some different rhythms that you can play as well. We just So one thing that you'll see me do, a lot or often in my piano making is moving in different parts of the piano. Like if I'm playing here, and again, that's using that same bass note technique. For example, here's our A, and then we're playing F sharp instead. So the original chord is here, but by changing that bass note, we get that chord, right? Oh, something about to change over here. I don't want to change that. Yeah, that's a really good example of a song that uses that spreading out, that diced pineapples. So you kind of see how the movement of the piano, how it changes, what it does to the music, as opposed to just playing in this one box. When you get to stretching out and going lower too, like I didn't really add any lower note. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of creates this statement that you're making. So I get that, you know, in some instances, somebody's like, well, what if I don't, you know, necessarily play piano like all of that, you know? And I would just simply say you take your time with it. As I've said before in different videos, the blessing of being a music producer is that you can really take your time. You don't have to, like, if you want to show off or if you want to, you know, show people some stuff, then sure, you can, you know, play it all together. But if not, you can just play it yourself and then fix it in the piano roll, for example. So, you know, you can just kind of learn by playing and find the note, you know, find the chords that you want, and then just play it once. You have your metronome going pop, 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 pop. Record that chord, record that chord, record that chord, then stop. You know, and you come back around. Okay, yeah. He plays that chord and you record the next chord. You know what I'm saying? And then you can just play the next chord, you know, like that. You don't always have to play it all together. You could just record it, play the next one, play the next one, just like that. Of course, if you have something like chord, you know, scales and chords, or if you have reason, you can have chord sequencer like this. And that's crazy because I'm going to be honest with you and tell you, I would never play these chords like this. I would play each of these chords, but like this rhythm, I wouldn't play, because what would I need to do to play that? What would I need to do to play that rhythm? Now I forgot what the chords were. It's this one. Yeah, so I already proved my point that I wouldn't do it, right? I think I played this one. Just because of the sheer like complexity of the chords, might not actually play it, you know, that way, you know. And so a tool like this, like chord sequencer, for example, from Reason, could be very handy because you could play the chords, but maybe not necessarily know, you know, be able to play it with that much dexterity or that much energy, you know, if you were trying to create something. So I like that. All we need is some nice Ninth Wonder drums, you know. So all we need is some nice Ninth Wonder style drums there for that, and you know, we be off to the races with that. So, you know, I don't know, maybe I'll save that. I'll save this chord set, and I'll put Ninth Wonder jazzy chords. Okay, so that way I know that they're saved, and I can come back to them when I want. We got to go back to learning the chord. inversions can be very powerful as well when it comes to playing piano. Inversions can be very powerful. So here's like a really I don't know what you call it, what you want to call it. If it's a complex chord, or if it's a whatever kind of chord you want to call it. It's a stretched out chord for me. But there are inversions to that chord that we can do. So a very simple way is just like that. Sometimes I play it like this. So, complex, simple, super simple, just playing it like that. Lots of notes in that chord, right? And then you can play it like this, or you can play it open. So as you move up and down the keyboard, those different inversions will play a part. If I was playing a simple triad, that's the same chord. Same chord, but just playing different inversions of the chord. So for example, like I remember when I was in college and I was producing this track for a grade, and basically I was trying to create like an orchestral sound, and I had a lot of orchestra percussions, but I was basically using the same cymbal. So every time it came to the crash, it was like the same cymbal sample. So it's like, every single time. And the instructor was like, hey, I like your track and everything like that. He's like, but you need to switch up your cymbals. When you hear an orchestra, even when you hear a drum set, they don't always just hit the same cymbal. They don't always just hit the same crash. So maybe you have a deeper crash. Maybe you just move the pan of the crash. Maybe you just change things up. And that's what chord inversions do for piano. It's like, yeah, we can always just play that chord, but that chord, which is the same notes, puts the C on top rather than here where the C is buried. Same thing, that inversion puts the E flat on top. And so by changing it up, there's different reasons, different purposes why you would change that up. What if I want my melody to start on, E flat? Right? Or if I want it to start on C. There will be different reasons why we use those inversions. So same thing, if I play a crash on the left and I play a crash on the right, I get different sounds of the crash, and that way it's not just so mundane. And it also gives you the ability to start your melody somewhere else. That's even if you're just using the piano roll, for example, to like list out your chords. Even if you're just using the piano roll, changing the top note can lead your melody to different places just by changing that top note, so different chords. Just by changing the inversion of it, putting the G on top, this G sharp or A flat, just by changing the inversion of it, it's like creating a whole nother thing. Same thing, but now we're stretching the note out. So I like to do that too. When it's like, if I want to like make it sound, extra, like I'm doing something extra, I'm just playing the same chord, but I'm stretching it out. Same chord, same notes, I should say. Same chord, same notes, but I'm stretching it out, playing a different inversion. When you play that different inversion, that gives you that different feel, that different sound. So if I have a C major chord, C, E, G, and my bass note is a C, if I want to invert that C major chord, then I'm going to change these notes in my right hand. If I change my left hand, that will change the chord sound. See, this C keeps this a C major, but if I change this, right, it's just, you can even hear it just gives it a different sound. Technically, you know, it's like, it depends on what you're playing, but you know, it does give it that different sound when you change those notes. Like we said earlier, when we played, for example, we played when we played this F sound and then we did the D. And I like to look at it, or I like to think of it as one chord is the natural chord. It's the bare bones of what the chord is. It's like, oh, it's an F chord. You should play an F. You should just play an F with the F chord in the bass. But if you play that D, it's like, well, hold on now. Is that a F chord still? We got an F in our hand, in our right hand, but we're playing D down here. That's like the unnatural chord, you know, because the structure is the F. And even here with this chord, it's just an inversion. But you're starting on this C, C, E, F, A. It makes you say, oh, we should play C. But you wouldn't really play C with this chord. You know, it doesn't have the same feeling when you play that F major 7 over C is what that is. It just doesn't have the same, you know, where things are kind of mushing together, right? So even with, you know, with the C majors, as you're changing it, technically still a C, but is it giving you a difference? You know, is it giving you, you know, is it giving you a different sound? Does it change anything when you're playing it? So like one reason why you might do an inversion in your bass. Okay, I have a C major. Okay. C major. I'm going to do the inversion to the E. Technically, that's still well, let me see. Right? I'll do the inversion to the E. Then it just leads us into this F. See that? So we went C. Technically, I just played 2 C chords. C, C, then to F. But the inversion of this C chord, the inversion of it starting with that E, leads us to F. So I was practicing some different songs. The hard part about this song is I kind of need to sing to also be able to play it. But here's an example of a song, Mariah Carey, I Don't Want a Lot for Christmas, right? The chord is very simple. This G, I don't want a lot for Christmas. It's two G's actually. I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. C, right? I don't need a lot for Christmas. Now watch what we did. We just changed one note. We just changed that to a C minor, or chord sequencer is saying this is an E flat 6. It's just a C minor with that E on top. See, the inversions matter. Inversions matter. They matter. But so simple chorus. All right. So that's that song. This here. Okay, cool. So I bring up different songs and I play different songs so you can see that it's a lot of simple stuff that's happening. When I first heard that song, in my mind, I thought, wow, that's like a lot of very difficult chords. That's got to be like some crazy sounding stuff. And a lot of the times in contemporary music and modern music, it's not a lot of complex chords at all. It's a lot more about melody than it is about like the chords. The chords just kind of help to create harmony and to create movement in the song, in the bass line and things of that nature. But even as you just heard, most of that is it's just all of it is just triads. It's just, that's a triad, that's a G, that's a C, right? Now that's the first one that has some like any kind of complexity, but really it's just another triad just with an E flat. And then we go a B diminished, another triad. And then I think it's, yeah. So just trying to find where that other chord fits in, just trying to find where that other chord fits in. And even if I do this other thing where I stack my bass. So I usually stack it with a fifth. You could even stack it more and do like a root fifth octave, It just adds more notes. So you could keep it real simple and just keep the G. Now, there's another reason why you might do an inversion right there. For example, we play the G and then it's just two G's, right? So we play another G. Now, instead of keeping that same G, we can do G and then we can switch our inversion to the G. Now, what does that do? It makes it even easier for us to go to that C, because now all we got to do is move our thumb and that middle finger to E and C. See what I'm saying? If we stayed on G and we just played two G's like this, that's fine. You just move your hand over, but you add some variety, some complexity, and you also make it easier for you to play the song. What does that do? That keeps the same chord. We do those inversions. Those inversions just help us to add some, some flair, some prettiness. Some prettiness without being out of tune, being out of key or anything like that. Which one did I play? It was. So then you can learn, once you have the chords, then you learn the melody. Stuff like that. Okay. So I was learning a lot of Christmassy sounds, Christmassy songs I was practicing. That's one of them make me say, "Oh, do that again, man. You could do that better than that." Man, this piano is so the piano is so deep. It might almost be better to use a different piano that's not as deep, right? Where was we at? So we was at. Which piano is this one? I think that's the Gentleman. I heard Sanjay C. He was talking about different pianos and some of the reasons why you might use different pianos. That other piano I was just using, I think that was Piano Verse. If I was doing a piano solo, I definitely would want that. But not if I'm not doing a piano solo. All right, y'all. Actually, I think it's about that time. You guys have been great. I hope you guys have enjoyed this rendition of our live stream tonight, playing some piano. If I'm being honest with you, completely honest, like as honest as I possibly could be, I was like, yo, I don't want to make beats. I just want to play piano. I was like, how can I just play piano? Let me see, what's that? I was trying to pretend like I could talk and play, but I really can't. Man, I almost want to turn the microphone on so I can play. But the timing of the music is always off with Reason or whatever. So it always make it sound like I have no rhythm. All right, enough of that. Instead of, dragging this on, I will say thank you guys so much for coming to join the stream. I hope with some of the piano that we played and some of the things that we did, I hope that you guys got something out of that piano and you can apply it to your music production if you are a piano player, a key player. If not, maybe you saw some chords and some chord inversions, some chord voicings that it will inspire you. Maybe you even heard something on the live stream. At this point, if you want to sample something, man, just give me my credit. Have fun. Go at it. Go for it. Why not? But just want to encourage you to keep making music and just keep having fun and doing your thing. I appreciate you. God loves you. I do too. I'll catch you guys on the next stream. Until next time, peace. Take care.